Hello and welcome to this mini tutorial where we're going to break down and then build back up the pronunciation of the word intellectual in English. Towards the end of the video, I'm going to give you some hints on two of the main mistakes that I hear when people pronounce this word. But first, we're going to break it down and look at the individual elements of the pronunciation. So here's the script from the Cambridge Online Dictionary, and with the blue parts on this slide, we get several really important pieces of information. So first of all, hopefully you can see there, looking at the black chunks, between those blue marks, it tells us that we've got 5 syllables to this word. So in, tel, ek, chu, ul. 5 chunks, 5 syllables. So that's the first thing we learn here with the blue marks. The bottom left, there's a blue mark before the I. That tells us that the syllable in is our secondary stress. And then the blue mark at the top before ek tells us that that is our primary or main stress. So we've got 2 stresses in this word because it's a long word. So in terms of how much effort you put into saying these syllables, the most strong should be ek, the second strong should be in, and then the other syllables should be a little weaker. So I want you to repeat after me, and first of all we're focusing on having 5 syllables and 2 stresses. So repeat after me nice and loud. Intellectual. Intellectual. Great. So let's break it down then and look at the components of each of these syllables. So the first one should be fairly straightforward. We've got a short I and then an n up in the nose. So repeat after me, in. Like the preposition in. I live in a house, in. Nice and straightforward. Syllable 2 then, we've got that t, so we need a bit of air popping out. We've got a small schwa, so it's very weak, and then an owl sound. It's at the end of a syllable, so it's going to be darker. Tul. In, tul. So tul. Repeat after me, tul. Then we've got our strong syllable, ek. So a short e and then a k, k. It's quite a kicky sound. So ek. Repeat again after me, ek. Syllable 4 tends to be perhaps one of the areas people find a little more difficult. Chu is what we're looking for. So we've got that ch, ch, and then an u. Chu. Again, repeat after me, chu. And the final syllable, we've got a schwa, so that weak vowel, and then another dark L, ul. Repeat after me, ul. So putting that all back together, remembering we've got 5 syllables, 2 stresses, a bit of dark L happening and some schwa. It's a very busy word to think about in terms of theory. Repeat after me nice and loud. Intellectual. Again, intellectual. Lovely. So that's how it looks when we write it. And as often occurs with English, there can be interference with not only what we see, so we might sometimes look at a word and think we pronounce it a different way, but there can also be interference from other words that we know. So let's have a look at the 2 main mistakes. So inside this word, we've got a familiar verb, tell, and consequently, you might have interference that will cause you to overpronounce that vowel. But if you recall from the previous slides, it's a weak schwa. So we don't want to say tell, it's tul with the weak schwa. So don't overpronounce that vowel, keep it weak. and going towards the end of the word, which is where I tend to hear more mistakes. Remember, our pronunciation that we're looking for is intellectual. It's a weaker ending. It's not an al, it's not an a, it's an ul, it's a schwa. So the key thing with this word is remembering that English as a language has lots of this weak schwa, and therefore you need to keep it weak. Don't overpronounce those vowels. Don't make them too big and strong. Keep it weak. That's the tip for this one. Keep it weak. So there we have it. One last time. Repeat after me. Intellectual. Fantastic. Great work. So if you found that useful, go ahead and hit like. Subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. And most importantly, leave me a comment to let me know, first of all, did you find anything interesting in this video that you didn't previously know? And also, have you made a mistake with this word yourself or heard other people making mistakes? It's a fairly common word to come across depending on what it is you do. And consequently, it's good to be able to pronounce this word well. But I think most importantly, working through these videos will help you to get a grip on some of the nuances of pronunciation in English. So things like word stress, thinking about syllables and clusters, for example. So working with these individual words can also help to build up your general knowledge of the pronunciation features and rules in English. Anyway, thanks for watching and have a lovely day.